Welcome to this workshop on the hidden friction blocking buyer decisions on LinkedIn. Thank you for investing your time to watch this recording. Let me start with something that may feel uncomfortable. Most consultants and experts on LinkedIn are not struggling because they lack visibility. They are struggling because something inside their LinkedIn presence is quietly slowing buyer decisions down. And the problem, most people cannot see it from the inside. Today, I'm going to help you see it. But before we go deeper, we need to reset how buyers actually behave on LinkedIn. Most professionals believe the path to more clients is simple. Post more, engage more, and be more visible. And to be fair, visibility does matter. But here is what I see repeatedly. People become more visible, but buyer decisions do not accelerate. Conversations still stall. Inbound remains inconsistent. Deals take longer than they should, which tells us something important. Visibility is not necessarily the real bottleneck. So, if visibility is not a constraint, what are buyers actually doing? Buyers on LinkedIn don't behave the way most creators assume. They do not announce intent. They do not raise their hand early. And they definitely do not tell you when they are evaluating you. Instead, buyers silently evaluate, pattern match for risk, scan for credibility gaps, and quietly eliminate options. All before they ever message you, which means by the time a buyer reaches out, most of the decision journey has already happened. Let me show you the invisible loop most buyers go through. Here is what typically happens. A buyer sees your content, they become mildly interested, they scan your profile and activity, and then something subtle happens. They hesitate. Not because you are not credible, but because something in your presence creates friction. And in most cases, they simply move on quietly. No comment, no message, no signal, just gone. Now here is where this becomes dangerous. Most professionals never know this is happening. From the outside, everything looks fine. You're posting. You're getting engagement. Your profile looks professional. But underneath the surface, buyer momentum is leaking. And if you cannot see the friction, you cannot fix it. Let me help you diagnose whether this may already be happening in your world. Here are signs buyer friction is already happening. Profile views, but few conversations. Good engagement, but wrong audience. Sales calls happening, but decisions stalling. Interest without forward movement. If two or more of these are happening consistently, there is a very high probability that friction already exists inside your LinkedIn presence. Not because you are doing something wrong intentionally, but because most LinkedIn strategies were never designed around how buyers actually decide. This is exactly why I built what I call the Buyer Decision System. The Buyer Decision System is a structured process I use to diagnose, remove, and prevent hidden friction across your LinkedIn presence. Because buyer movement is not random, it is structural. And once you understand the structure, you stop guessing and you start engineering predictable buyer decisions. The system works through 4 connected steps. Each one removes a different layer of friction. Step 1 is the LinkedIn Inbound Friction Index, and this is a diagnostic. Before you fix anything, you need to see where friction is actually hiding. The LinkedIn Inbound Friction Index measures the subtle signals across your presence that may be slowing buyer momentum. because most friction is not obvious. It is structural. And this is where many professionals unknowingly run into problems. So here's where step one quietly breaks. Your content looks professional, but not decisive. It sounds credible, but not specific. And it feels active, but not buyer-aligned. Most people skip deep diagnosis. They assume activity equals effectiveness. But buyers are not measuring effort. They are measuring certainty. And if certainty is not clear, momentum slows immediately. Once friction is identified, we move to the second layer, and that is step two, the buyer decision method. Step two focuses on how buyers move psychologically toward a decision, because decisions are not necessarily logical first. They are risk-filtered, pattern-driven, emotionally validated before they are rationalized. The buyer decision method aligns your presence with how real buyers actually commit. But again, this is where many experts unintentionally create hesitation. Here is where step two quietly breaks. Educates but does not move. Demonstrates expertise but not safety. Creates interest but not urgency. You can be highly knowledgeable and still not feel like the obvious choice, because buyers are not only asking, are you good? They are asking, are you the safest next decision? This leads us to step three. Step three is the buyer attraction toolkit. Now we operationalize. The buyer attraction toolkit turns insight into visible authority signals across your content, profile, and activity. Because buyers do not respond to intention. They respond to patterns they can see and trust. And this is another failure point. Here's where step three quietly breaks. Your content creates noise, but not movement. Your authority feels inconsistent. And messaging attracts the wrong buyers. Many professionals are visible, but the signals they are sending are misaligned. And buyers pick this up faster than most people realize. Finally, step four locks the system together. Step four is the buyer attraction map. The final step creates strategic clarity. The buyer attraction map aligns your positioning, signals, and messaging to buyers you actually want to attract. Because without alignment, every strong activity produces weak outcomes. And yes, there is a common breakdown here too. Here's where step four quietly breaks. You are speaking to everyone. You're positioning too broad, and your signals are not matched to buyer stage. When position is even slightly misaligned, buyers hesitate, not loudly, quietly. And quiet hesitation is the most dangerous kind. Let me show you what happens when this friction is properly removed. Here's what changed when this was fixed. So before, you had visible but not inconsistent inbound. You experience long decision cycles and unpredictable conversations. But after, you had clearer buyer movement, faster decision velocity, and more predictable inbound. This is not about tricks. It is about structural alignment. When friction drops, buyer momentum increases naturally. So the real question then becomes, what would happen if friction was removed in your system? If buyers moved faster? If the right people leaned in more consistently? If conversations converted with less resistance? What would that change for your pipeline over the next 3 to 6 months? Because for most experts, this is not a visibility problem. It is a friction problem. And that is exactly why I have built a deeper implementation around. For those who are serious about diagnosing and removing hidden buyer friction at a deeper level, this is exactly why I created the next step. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm talking about the Buyer Decision System Cohort. And here's what you get. The Buyer Decision System Complete, all 4 modules as I have described them earlier, 3-month guided cohort experience, monthly 90-minute live implementation sessions, direct buyer friction diagnostics, and structured buyer movement optimization. This is not another course you watch and hope works. This is a structured, guided implementation experience over 3 months, where we diagnose where buyer momentum is slowing and systematically remove the friction that is causing hesitation. The goal is simple: predictable buyer movement. Now let me explain how access works. There are only 15 seats available in the cohort. The early bird special offer is available until midnight South African Standard Time, Friday, 27th February 2026. Visit the link in the text above or below this video for more information and to reserve your seat while they are still available. That brings me to the end of this workshop. I want to thank you for your time invested in watching this recording, and I look forward to welcoming you to the cohort. Until the next time we meet, cheerio.